And I'm going to blow this away as someone who never worked for the FBI. I've already shown you how Lloyd Harrell gave Mulder the idea to put him on the stand for that. They committed a crime. They'll have to plead the fifth. And that backfired on her. Lloyd Harrell is not a very bright individual, in my opinion. Crime Fighter says Patterson's pre-fifth testimony gave hints about how the defense could have attacked the credibility of the investigation. Among other issues, there are serious questions of a contaminated crime scene. Patterson acknowledged to the court-appointed defense lawyer Wayne Huff that David Waddell, the first officer to arrive, walked through the crime scene to make sure an intruder was not in the garage. That's because Darlie was going, he went out the garage, look out there. They're saying now that that's partly of the contamination. And the blonde hair found in the cut window screen in the garage was assumed to be Routier's until tests that the DA performed, ordered, until tests determined that it belonged to a Rowlett police officer. For Crime Fighter, the greatest travesty of justice he has ever seen started with a prosecution theory that in his view was weaker than watered down Kool-Aid. But the jury drank that Kool-Aid. They just hit back to blaming the jury. This is the only crime I've ever seen where a motive was not identified that was attributable to the accused. He says, as a family sits down with the burgers at a nearby table. Okay, there is sort of a motive. What the prosecution contends is that Darlie consecutively, through her writing in the journals, we can see her mood changing it consecutively, through finances becoming depleted. She couldn't shop as much as she wanted to. Then Darren's car broke down and she got stuck in the house. Then, days before the crime, Darren was denied a $5,000 loan that they needed. She was trying to sell the jewelry. They were trying to have a garage sale. Money was bad. So their motive wasn't financial gain. It was parental stress and spousal revenge filicide. She was so mad at Darren for, you bring me into this and we start doing good, and now you're failing. That's what they made it. That's what they presented. And that's what it looks like to me. She couldn't handle the stress of going through financial difficulty when she was used to being pampered. That's the motive that the state put out. Crime Fighter Patterson acknowledged that no motive had been established in the case against Routier. We're not sure of a motive, he said, in response to Huff's question. The state, however, is not required to present a motive because you don't have to. You can't determine why someone who loses it lost it. You just can't. There could be a lot of factors. Crime Fighter continues about the claims later made by prosecutors at trial. Materialism is not a motive. No, it's not. But her quality of life was that she could spend money when she wanted to. She could buy fur coats. She could have her breasts done. She could pay for cruises. She could help her friend across the street pay her mortgage because she's sick. She could spend $1,000 on Mother's Day for drinks. She could hire male strippers to come in and dance. She could spend money the way she wanted, and then all of a sudden, she couldn't. This is an outgrowth of the Susan Smith murder case, and that's grasping at the wind. They tried to make her look bad in front of the jury because they didn't like her as a person, but that didn't prove she killed her kids. Well, of course they didn't like her as a person because she's accused. There's evidence that shows that she committed the crime. I wouldn't like her either if I was them. There's evidence, medical evidence, forensic evidence, circumstantial evidence that shows them that she committed the crime. I'm sure that the jurors didn't go in there from day one and sit down like, I don't like Darlie. They misinterpret Carrie Paris's test. When she came on last defense, she said, well, all I knew is that she was from Texas and she killed her kids. That is all she knew. That's what she's being accused of. That's semantics. You forgot to use the word probably. For the staging of the crime scene, he says this. Darlie never walks through the proscenium. The proscenium is the arch around the stage. If Darlie had truly been acting, he says, she would have walked onto the stage by including in her story to police the items she had used in staging a scene.